smash writing. So, I didn't exactly forget per se. I thought I already talked about Spiral. But we didn't. It was actually a brief little discussion we had on Spiral during our year-end review when we were ranking our top 10 movies. I know. You might consider that a bit weird that Spiral would appear on the top 10 because of how it's portrayed and everything. I'll get into it. I was going to move on and leave it there. It's like, look, I talked about it. It's on that list. Go check it out. But my thoughts on it have changed a little bit. So I wanted to go back, give it the proper review, and the completionist part of my brain would not let me just willingly move on without talking about it. So let's pound this out quickly, shall we? Move on to Hellraiser. I'm sure I won't regret that decision rather quickly into that franchise. With that said, let's talk about Spiral. The movie opens up with a guy chasing a purse thief into a subway tunnel, gets knocked out, and wakes up in a trap. He's got 2 minutes to decide if he wants to lose his tongue or be hit by the subway train. He waited too long and was hit by the train. We meet Zeke Banks. He's a cop, and he was doing an undercover sting that he didn't bother telling anybody he was doing. And he ended up getting raided by the police, and then he's getting chewed up, and we learned that Zeke is not on thin ice per se. He turned in a dirty cop like 10, 12 years ago prior, and ever since then, no one's wanted to work with him. He even got shot on one call because no help would come because none of the cops have his back anymore because he turned in one of the brothers. It's created some tension. He gets a new partner named Shank William, and they get assigned to this case, and then Banks gets a videotape of a voice singer. Before this is over, more people will learn through their games, and they're going to help Banks clean up the police department. That's when the traps begin. And you're going to tell who's going to get stuck in the trap by who reacts throughout this movie. And one trap after another, and we meet Zeke's former partner that shot a person, a witness to another crime. And Zeke, and so what happened with that and everything. And it all leads back to the very finale. After several traps, we get the big reveal that it was, in fact, William Shanks is the new Jigsaw. And he's taken Kramer's message of change and reform and twisted it to fit his own narrative. And what his main motivation drive is he was the child of the guy that Banks' partner shot. And Zeke, he saw Zeke stand up and stand up for justice and do the right thing. And he wants Zeke to team with him. Zeke will help find the crooked cops, and then Shanks will test them. But Zinks isn't that. William is not that trusting, and he has his dad, Banks' dad, set up in this carnival little trap thing. And Banks can either shoot William, or he can save his dad. He saves his dad, but this allows Shank an opportunity to escape because he has his dad set up on like this pulley system for when SWAT comes in. It looks like he's about to shoot SWAT, and SWAT shoots him, and it ends with Shanks escaping through the elevator. And that is basically the movie of Spiral. Alright, let's pro and con this thing. Set moving real quick. I'm going to pound this out. I do enjoy Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson especially. Of course you're going to enjoy Samuel L. Jackson. He's great in just about almost everything he does. Chris Rock, though, he gets a little bit of flack for his acting here. The tough guy acting and the yelling acting. But I think that's a little misguided because, of course, you're going to have a giant chip on your shoulder from what has been done to you. You're not going to be the most emotionally stable person in the room. And the fact is, it's commemorable almost because he's in a place full of people who don't like him, who've tried to kill him. And he's still fighting along. He's still trying to see justice is done despite being in one of the most hostile environments he can find himself in. And I think Chris Rock does a really good job portraying that. The traps were fine. They're alright. some are better than others. The big problem is a lot of these traps don't feel winnable, so you can't really get into it. There's no way to win this. Just sit back and enjoy the gore. That's one way to do it, but as we saw in the Saw 10 and other movies, it does feel more pressure. It raises stakes whenever you see somebody actually win one of these games. And they should have had the captain win her game. And I say that because, well, they hinted that the captain was dirty, and the captain may have been dirty during Article 8. They never really show it. In fact, they show that she sides with Zeke a lot of times, even going to bat for Zeke. She stands up for him during when she originally assigned someone else to the Boz case, and he takes this really personally because Boz was his only friend in the department, and he really pleads his case. And she not only makes him leave, but she goes to bat for him whenever none of the cops were actually listening. You have a butt over there, but if there was anyone who in this movie who should have survived their trap, it should have been her, and it would have made this a little bit of a better movie. Because again, to see people actually pass their tests raises stakes, other than just mindless killing people and going ways. And there was an argument to be had that that was enjoyable, but after a while it just doesn't really, it gets lost in the matter. The copycat, even I was a little angry too, because like I said, I watched this movie before I watched 4 through 9. So the only frame of reference I had here was 1, 2, and 3. And that was from when 3 was new. So there's a real long gap here. Now, the twisting of his beliefs, Kramer's beliefs, because Shanks believes and what Kramer believes are two wildly different things. And it actually does work. And I'll tell you what, this is a copycat. This is not Kramer's belief being revitalized. This is another guy twisting Kramer's belief to fit his own narrative and what he believes Kramer means, but it's not what Kramer means because it's not Kramer. So that's what makes him a copycat. It's similar, but it's different, and that's why it actually doesn't work here. What doesn't work here is a line that Banks says. Kramer doesn't go after cops. The hell Kramer doesn't. My God. There was Eric. There was Riggs. There was Carrie. They all targeted cops. They always did. And not even that. They had a cop accomplice in Hoffman. So it does actually hurt because that is a big point where he doesn't target cops. Yes, he does. He did all the time. So that actually is going to hurt this movie a bit. And I really did not like that new voice. The new voice of like the tape recorder in the videos. But they had tall shoes to fill. That is a very iconic voice. So you're always going to have trouble winning people over, but they did it really badly. It didn't stick the way it was supposed to. And that takes about 3 pegs. Because the closest comparison I can get is whenever they tried to recast Robert Englund as Freddy, and they recast Jackie Earle Haley. People were upset that, this isn't Rob. No, it's not going to be Rob. But Jackie Earle Haley did a really good job bringing a new side out of Freddy. Was it as good as Freddy? Rob? No. Was it good enough? Yes. Was this voice good enough? No. Not at all. And that is all I got for my short and condensed review on Spiral. Sorry it comes after 10. Stupid brain. But my final grade for this movie is going to be a B. Would it still be on the top 10 list from the year it came out? I think it was 2021. Maybe. I'd have to go back and look at the year. Do I regret putting it on the list? No, because at the time I was working under very different circumstances. But that's my final grade. Officially ending my Saw reviews for now, till we get 11. Then I'll be back, I'm sure. Until then, I'll see you at Hellraiser. Bye-bye.